And now please help me welcome to the stage your host all evening long, Doug Mellard.
Someone knocking at the door, somebody ringing the bell.
No one? Someone's knocking at the... Come on. No one? No one. All right. All right. Hey! Give it up for Wings. Sir McCartney, everybody. What's up, Austin, Texas? How you doing? Dan Cummins is here, everybody. Make some noise. Yeah! Colt. Oh, man, that's so fun to do. For anyone that just wandered in off the streets, you're terrified right now. People are yelling Colt. I won't explain it. Thanks for coming out. Everybody have a good Halloween? Nice, yeah. I had a weird one. My wife and I were excited. We were in a house together for the first time. Yeah, we had... That's not the funny part. This fucking dipshit never lived in a house before. Idiot. We just been in an apartment for a long time together and never had trick-or-treaters. So we were all excited to have trick-or-treaters together for the first time. So we got all the decorations, you know? We got a ton of candy, so much candy. And there were trick-or-treaters up and down our block, you know? And none of, a few of them came to us, but barely any. And we were so sad. And we got insecure about it, you know? We're like, why didn't they come? And then a friend came by a few hours later, and he pointed out all the reasons why. Here's the deal. Our house is backwards. The living room is upstairs. So if somebody knocks on our door, we can't hear them. So we put a sign on the outside stairwell to come up to the balcony, and the sign said, "Trick-or-treaters, come upstairs for candy." Yeah, just looked like a trap for a couple pedophiles. It was pretty weird. And then beyond that, once you get up to the balcony, we had carved pumpkins the night before, and we had forgotten to take away the tarp that was laid down on the balcony as we lured the children up there onto the tarp. And then there was a table that we left out that had a neatly organized row of knives. We don't need to carve pumpkins, we got kids. We're gonna become an urban legend. We carve up little kids, put them in wrappers. Next Halloween, go time. Yeah, that got dark at the end. I'm sure a few of you had weird Zoom interactions the last couple years. It happens. Sometimes it's embarrassing. Here's one such story. A few weeks ago, my wife was having a physical therapy session over Zoom, and I assume I am off camera, but apparently it wasn't the case because about 40 minutes in, I hear the physical therapist say, "Boy, it looks like your husband is sure enjoying himself." Yeah. And no, I was not masturbating. It was much worse. To stay off camera, which I failed at doing, I had curled up and gone to the farthest corner of the couch in my boxers. I was crouched over, eating not one, but 4 hard-boiled eggs. Like some kind of monster. There's no rebounding from that. You can't look cool. You know, I tried. I just pulled up my laptop that was right there, and I was like, excuse me, but I have a meeting with the church elders, and yeah, I don't think they bought it. I've got a lot of dumb tattoos. I'm covered in idiotic ink. Anybody else? 2 very sad people. I feel you. I just make bad decisions. A lot of people Dan has cool tattoos. He plans his out. Me, not so much. I get 40 drinks in me, and then I go to the tattoo shop, and I'm like, do what you want. It's a miracle I'm not covered in dicks, you guys, really. I'll share a few of my favorites. My most recent one I got with my buddy Chris. It's a smiley face on the end of my thumb. Yeah, this is pretty cool. And I just decided now that I have this, I want to go to therapy just so I can talk to my therapist through my thumb. You want to talk to Doug, you talk to me. I started therapy. She fired me. I didn't know you could even do that, but... here's another one. I got the words accommodate madness tattooed on my arm. And the word accommodate, the front couple rows, will see that it is misspelled. Yeah. But I did that on purpose, I swear to God. I'm a funny guy. I thought I'd have fun. I was like, oh, it'd be so great to get something misspelled on purpose so that strangers would have to awkwardly come up to me and be like, did you know that's misspelled? But here's the deal, you guys. Not once in 15 years has anyone corrected me. Yeah, we're all dumb. Maybe it's spelled correctly. I don't even know. And then everybody's favorite, I dated a woman named Allie. This is my dumbest tattoo. I dated a woman named Allie. We dated for a while. And at one point, I got I Heart Allie tattooed on my chest. Yep. And that didn't end so well. So I had to get a cover-up tattoo. Luckily, I'm a genius, so you say I Heart Allie. And now it says I Heart Alligators. Yeah, look at my tits. There's a little Lacoste alligator right there. Pretty cool guy. Pretty cool guy. Did not think this all the way through with this weird button-up pearl snaps. I'm just gonna turn into Bert Kreischer now. Who here has seen Roadhouse? Anybody? You guys seen the film Roadhouse? Great film. Fantastic. Best film ever, really. If you haven't seen it, it's a 1989 cinematic masterpiece starring Patrick Swayze in his prime, sporting the greatest mullet the universe has ever known. And in the film, he wears the most denim you can possibly wear. Quick synopsis of the film, if you haven't seen it. It's about a guy named Dalton, and he goes around to really risky bars, crazy bars, and he rips guys' throats out. It's pretty much the film. It's awesome. It also happens to feature some of the best writing in cinematic history. I'll give you a great example. This is my favorite part. 4 minutes, 36 seconds in. A woman walks up to the bar, and she orders a vodka rocks. That's right, which is basically just a giant shot. And then a gentleman walks up to her and says, hey there, vodka rocks. How's about you and me get nipple to nipple? That's right, you heard that right. Hey there, vodka rocks. How about you and me get nipple to nipple? That's in the movie. Executives in Hollywood sat around a table, watched that part, and they're like, that stays in the picture. That's gonna win us an Oscar. Now, my wife and I quote this film all the time. Particularly that line. Like at this point, around our house, saying, hey there, vodka rocks, how about you and me get nipple to nipple? That's like saying, I love you, or good morning. And a few weeks ago, my wife, her car was at the shop, and she had to pick it up from the mechanic, so she was walking like a half mile. I happened to drive by her at the time. I do a U-turn, pull up next to her, I yell out the window, hey there, vodka rocks! How's about you and me get nipple to nipple? Doesn't even faze her. She just gets in the car, we drive off. We don't think about it for hours. And then a few hours later, my wife starts cracking up, and I'm like, what is so funny? And she was like, there were other people on the sidewalk when you yelled that at me. They think that line worked on me. And I was like, that is awesome. And she did not high-five me. I hope that some of the other people on that sidewalk tried that line that night. That's and it worked, I'm sure. They're now engaged on the spot. My wife and I went to a music festival. We were going to see a friend's band play, and after her set, we were gonna go and hang out in her trailer and stuff. And we're walking up to her trailer, but there are two problems. One, we were on all the mushrooms in the world. Hello, that's right. And two, all of the trailers look the same. So we are confused on multiple levels. And as our friend reaches for the trailer door, she yells, "Oh shit," and she jumps back. And that's when we look up and there's a sign on the trailer that notifies us that it is not her trailer. It is the trailer for another musical act. You might have heard of them. They're called the Wu-Tang Clan. Yeah. 3 of us idiots walking in there with mushrooms. Can you imagine? That would have been awesome. I wanted to do it. I begged them. I was like, "No, I think we should still do this. I think it's a good idea. I'm going to make a bond immediately." They're like, "No, you're not doing it." And I still have regrets about this. But I find solace in the fact that somewhere in the multiverse, there's another me out there that is in the Wu-Tang Clan. That's right. Somewhere out there, it's Raekwon, RZA, Jizza, Ghostface Killah, and Doug. just rapping about farts constantly. They're like, "Why did we hire this guy? Hey, he's on mushrooms. We had a good time, remember that?" I stopped a woman the other day and I complimented her pants. I was like, "Hey, I love your pants." And then she looked at me, scanned me up and down, as if to compliment something on me. And then she just said, "Thank you." Fuck you, lady. How easy is it to lie? In her defense, I was only wearing Crocs, so I get it. I recently gave Charles Manson's music a spin. I don't know if you've ever heard it. Yeah, I don't know if cheering's the right thing there. You know that guy, all the murders, that guy? Yeah! Yeah, I thought I'd give it a spin, and just morbidly curious, and guys, it's pretty good. I got kind of freaked out. I was like, what does that say about me? Am I a murderer now? But as freaked out as I was about myself, I was way more freaked out for all the artists that the algorithm suggested based on me liking Charles Manson. Like, if you like Charles Manson, you'll love James Taylor. Yeah, I did not see that coming. It's pretty crazy. I don't want to brag, but my wife and I went to a children's water park in Golden, Colorado a few years ago. Yeah, we don't have kids. It's weird. We're just hanging out, you know? We went with her baby cousins, twins. They were so pumped. And particularly for these two slides, the two like rather fast slides. They were faster than the other slides. And so the kids had to have the accompaniment of an adult every time they went down the slide. So we'd go with them time and time again, over and over. And at one point, my wife and I pop out of the water at the bottom, and my wife panics. She's like, "Oh my God, I lost my sunglasses. They're in the water somewhere." And it's like, "It's cool, we'll find them." We yell to the lifeguard. She turns off the jets so we can look a little more clearly. We were looking forever. It's taking forever. Meanwhile, there's a line of kids building up to go down this water slide. Kids by nature, the most impatient creatures on the planet. But kids waiting for a water slide, holy shit. They started booing us. We were mortified. But eventually, I see the sunglasses through the water. I close my eyes. I dive under. I grab the sunglasses. But guess what else I grab? A human ball of shit. That's right. I jump out of the water faster than any dolphin has jumped out of the water. I hold up my hand for everyone there to see. I point to the streak of shit on my hand. It was right here. I can still feel it to this day. I think all the time about amputating this hand. I point, and I just scream, and I do a 360 turn. And I'm just yelling, "There's human shit in this water! There's poop in here!" The children that were booing us 4 seconds ago now love me. This is the best day of their lives. They get to go down water slides, and there's a crazy guy yelling about poop. I run up to lifeguard, still pointing in my hand. I'm like, "There's poop in here!" And she just looks at me and she's like, "Dude, I'm 15. I'm getting paid $4 an hour. What did you expect? It's a children's water park. There's piss and shit everywhere. Look at my face. We all have pink eye, buddy." To make matters worse, my wife's glasses were broken. But I go up to her and I'm like, "I'm sorry about your sunglasses, though." And she was like, "It's cool. They were $5 at Target." What? I touched human shit for $5 sunglasses. $10, maybe. And every time I go down those slides with the kids, every time I make the same stupid joke, they crack up. I'd be like, "I pooped on the slide. It's gonna beat us down." Which means for the rest of my life, these kids are gonna think that was my shit. Never gonna live that down. Speaking of shit, I had to get a stool sample recently. How's that for a transition? Nailed it. It's not fun. I don't know if you've ever had to do it. There's a few ways to go about it, apparently. This is what my doctor had me do. She gave me what is basically, it looks like a children's plastic cowboy hat. And she's just like, "Yeah, you put this on the toilet, you shit in that hat." It was a weird applause. And the hat comes with a little vial that has liquid in it and a little unscrewable cap that has what's basically the world's worst spoon on the end. Basically just moves it around a little bit, doesn't really do anything. I threw up while I was getting the stool sample. I'm not joking. But I get the sample, I go to the doctor, and I give it to him, and she's like, "Well, you'll get a call in a few days, like 3 to 4 days." 3 weeks pass, I don't get a call. So I'm driving by, and I'm just decided that I'm gonna pop in. And I walk up to this woman that I've only met for like 4 seconds as I handed her a tube of my shit. And she just goes, "Doug?" I freak out. I was like, my shit was so weird that this staff has my face and name memorized. I panic. And she goes on to explain that they lost my shit in the mail. And I'm like, "Why are you mailing my shit?" And she's like, "It's just, there's a lot of people involved. There's these contractors, and they got in there and they messed everything." I'm like, "Oh my, how many people are involved in this process? What is going on?" Can you imagine that's your job? Like, "Oh, what do you do for work?" "Oh, I'm a third-party contractor. You see people shit in a tube, they put that in the mail. I intercept that shit tube, hand it to a scientist." Pretty sweet gig. It's like the world's worst relay team. So then she tells me, "Well, you got to shit in another hat." So she gives me another hat. I go home. I'm very angry. I fill that fucker up good. You know what I mean? It's like filled with fury, which is only to my own detriment. And then as like I'm about to like scoop it into a vial with my latex gloves on, I look and the vial doesn't have the liquid that keeps it fresh or whatever. So I freak out. I'm like, "No way, this isn't gonna be a good sample." So I panic. I'm like, "What do I do?" So I decide I'm gonna leave the shit hat on the floor and run to the doctor's office, which is around the corner, get another vial, run back, and hopefully it stays fresh so I don't have to shit in a third hat. But about that time, I bust out of the bathroom only in my latex gloves. I look like a feral animal. That's when my wife has come in from being out of town for 3 days. She hasn't seen me for 72 hours, and I just look crazy with my latex gloves only. And I just point at the bathroom door and I go, "Don't go in there! There's shit I had on the floor!" And she's just like, "I'm never leaving you home alone again." I think it's weird that we can't masturbate, but we can tickle ourselves. That's what kind of fucked up riddle has God bestowed upon us, you know what I mean? I don't know if you know this, but masturbating is like the most tickling a human can do. All right, that didn't work. Who here knows who Richard Gere is? Anybody? Yeah, if you don't know who Richard Gere is, he was a mediocre actor that, let's be honest, but he had a lot of success in the 90s, right? Best known film-wise for his hit film, Pretty Woman. Everybody knows that one? But who here knows what Richard Gere is actually best known for? Gerbils, yeah. Might have heard a hamster over there. You're all correct. Depends on how you heard this story. For those of you that don't know who Richard Gere is, you're very confused right now. I'll clear that up. So one night, supposedly, there's a rumor that started back in the 90s when his career took off. That rumor also took off that one night he had to go to the hospital and have a gerbil removed from his ass for some kind of sexual pleasure. And this was before the internet, you guys. Like, everybody knew about this. That means there was like a street team out there. People were like, there were people working hard like, "Hey, Richard Gere has a gerbil up his ass. Pass it on," you know? Caught like wildfire. And I remember people being so bummed for him. They're like, "Oh, that is awful. That sucks for that guy. That's so embarrassing." Are you kidding me? That is awesome. Someone was so jealous of his success that they had to start a rumor that he had a gerbil up his ass. Like, I wish that happened to me. You know what I mean? Like, that gerbil is a status symbol. No one's ever said that about me, ever. And I currently have 6 gerbils up my ass right now. Hey. Now, I just hope that when Richard Gere passes away, which hopefully is a long way away, that he has a sense of humor about the whole thing, right? Like, next to his tombstone is just a tiny little tombstone that says, "My buddy." That would be awesome. I like the idea, like, he gets to heaven and God's like, "Is it true?" I gotta get out of here in just a minute, but before I go, I'll do another joke, but give it up for your wait staff. Make some noise, they're taking care of you. Be sure to tip them well. So guys, I recently accidentally started a dildo collection. Yeah. Yeah, here's the story. So a few years back, I was with my future in-laws celebrating Christmas for the first time together. And at one point, a present comes my way. And I'm all excited. And I yell out to my future in-laws, I'm like, "Oh, this one's from you." I draw attention to it. And then I open it up. And inside is a giant dildo. I am very confused. I look at the dildo, I look at them, I look back at the dildo, I never want to look at them again. I'm thinking, like, what is happening? Oh my God, like, what do they want me to do to their daughter with this thing? Like, it was a weapon. And right about then, I hear my future brother-in-law cracking up. And that's when I realize he has played a wonderful prank on me. He just wrapped up a big dick in a box, slapped a name tag on it, said it was from their parents. That's genius. Everyone in this room should do it this holiday season. That is awesome. Seriously, please make this a trend. Then, luckily, like, their parents are so funny, we all have a big laugh about it, and I'm like, I gotta marry into this dildo family. This is great. I love these guys. And I do. 3 years later, I propose to my now wife in that very house, and we start celebrating with the family. We're having a good time, and the champagne is a-flowing, and somewhere in the celebration, my brother-in-law comes up to me with a 3-foot, extravagantly wrapped box. And, you know, we're caught up in the moment. We're not even thinking about it, but there's no way there's a dick in there anyway. It's too big. It's 3 feet. It's not, come on. I open it up, and wouldn't you know it, it is a dildo. If you've never heard of a dildo, if you don't know what it is, close your eyes right now. Picture the words drill and dildo. Put them together. It's exactly what you see in your head right now. Looks like a big Black & Decker drill with a big old floppy dick on the end. The reason the box was so big, it came with a construction helmet, safety goggles, and a reflective safety vest. I kid you not. You gotta be careful, you know? And the dildo itself features a very powerful light. In case you want to go like spelunking in a rather cavernous vagina, you know? And so, hours pass, we keep drinking and stuff, having a good time, celebrating. And we're staying in a guest house about 100 yards from the main house. And we're about to take a walk back there, but it's dark out. And we're in New Mexico, it's bear season. There are bears that had been spotted in the area that week. And my mother-in-law was like, you guys have to have a flashlight. And I was like, no problem. The dildo has the light. But you have to press the trigger to make it go. So the two newly engaged lovebirds are just walking back to the house. Dick just flopping around. We're giggling like idiots because we can't help but notice that it has cast a 30-foot shadow of a dick on the road. We're picturing pilots up above, pointing it out to the flights like, hey, if you look out the left-hand side of the plane, you will see why they call New Mexico the land of enchantment. And guys, I had been visiting that house for 3 years at that point. Never seen one bear. But wouldn't you know it, the one time I'm drunk with a dildo, we come across our first bear. Long story short, I murdered a bear with a dildo. I'm just joking, he loved it. Yeah. Really tamed the beast. His name is Frank, he lives in that guest house now. Hey, that's it for me. I've been your host, Doug Mellard.